Hey everybody, it's your old pal Count Jackula, your favorite satanic streamer, here yet again for a somewhat belated Satanic Sunday. And part of the reason it's belated is the old Count ain't as young as he used to be. This Saturday I went to a punk show, like a bona fide punk show that was being held in San Francisco. The headliner was a band called Cancer Christ that I had not heard of before, but Sadie Satanis had, and she's the one who invited me. So I went out, and that felt like, I gotta hand it to like punks today. That felt like some 80s shit, you know? Only thing really different, slightly more diverse crowd. Slightly. Like, punk was always pretty diverse, but like this was like non-white kids were aplenty. About 150 people gathered on a fucking pier to listen to 5 bands that were all being powered by a single little generator. No, it felt like a time warp. You know, you could tell these are like Gen Zers, but like other than that, it felt like a fucking time warp. I'm like, man, if I was this age, it would be, if I was a Gen Zer, this would be exactly the same. You know, the only difference now is that I'm an Xer, so that means like I'm middle-aged. So I'm an older punk, and I'm just like, holy shit, this is exactly the same energy. I mean, exactly the fucking same. It was crazy. It was nuts. It was a pretty good show, too. Cancer Christ, apparently, they're like the inverse of Ghost. First of all, they're punk rock, so they're not as melodious as Ghost is, but their front man, instead of being Satan, is Jesus. But he is a Jesus that comes out burning Bibles and throwing them into the crowd, throwing the flaming pages into the crowd. And he looks like Jesus. You can tell this guy's probably a Gen Xer. He's like, the only people that were there that might have been older than him were like me and Sadie. Like, well, there were some other dudes too, but like, I don't know what they were doing. I think they were some people's dads, because this was a young crowd. These were like teenagers. Everyone was selling merch out of the back of the fucking truck. And I'm like, oh, there's no official here. We're like, this is like illegal. Like, this is an illegal show. Like, we're not supposed to be here. You know, and I knew that I was like too old to get in the pit. But, man, you gotta bang your head. And it was cold. It was fucking cold. It was San Francisco cold. You know, so, you know, by the end of the night, it's like, ooh, my fucking neck. You know, oh, my scoliosis. You know, and shit like that. But it was a blast, man. It was fucking energizing. No drinking and drugs other than like weed, you know, which is of course legal in this state. So that was also kind of surprising. I mean, I'm sure somebody had like a flask of something, you know, shit like that. But like, no one was selling booze, and it was not a booze-fueled event. Like, it was just angry youth getting together and fucking moshing. That's all it was. It was incredible. It was fucking incredible. I didn't think I'd see anything like that again in my lifetime. You know, given the average age of like the person who was there had to be like 17. You know, like I said, like me and Sadie were like part of the old old crowd. But yeah, we had a good time, but like after all that, I had to sleep all day. You know, can't do that like I used to. Also, we had to duck out right before midnight to get Sadie to a bus. But like the show was wrapping up anyway. Like this was a show that started at like 7. And I'm like, no show starts at 7. What are you talking about? You know? But nah. Yeah, Ultimate Test D braces. No way. Nah. Dance I can do. Masha can't. That's a younger kid thing. That's a 20s thing. Late 20s if you want to push it. Yeah, at 7. I was like, what? You know, and there was no cover charge because it was like out in the air. Like we were right on a motherfucking pier. It's technically a skate park on a pier. Mm-hmm. But no, these are kids that gotta like get home, you know. I don't know where they all came in from, you know. It was about 150, 200 people. Not that big, you know. But it was surprising, and it did my heart, did my old punk heart good. You know, and it was that good cross section of like punk and goth and all that stuff, you know. Although there was this one dude who looked like George Burns Jr. It was weird. He's like a super nerdy guy with a big glasses and a giant cigar. I was just like, George Burns is reincarnated, you know, like Mouse and I was like, oh, you think it might be? Yeah. It's a dog patch. You probably do know where that was. Yeah, and it was just raw energy. Just raw energy. I'm like, no one's on coke, no one's on drugs, you know, like well, everyone was a bunch of people were on weed. There was like one little like gathering of people who had like had enough, and I'm like, yeah, you're the high ones. I was actually kind of surprised that Jello Biafra did not make some sort of appearance. You know, to be honest, Joe, you know, he might be too old even for this at this point. Like, you know, last time he really got involved in his show, like some guy broke his fucking knees. So I think he's a little, you know, like let the younger kids punk rock. But I don't think that would have happened. I don't think that would have happened. I think there would have been some people who would have known who he was and been excited, and others had just been like, "Who's this dude?" You know, I don't think he would have gotten like beat up or anything. The moment someone fucking broke Jello Biafra's legs at a punk show, I that's when I was like, okay, it's dead. That was like back in the '90s, and I'm like, it's fuck that it the scene's dead now. You know, I never expected it to come back. Oh yeah. Standing room only, no chairs, man. You know, like dude, standing all night. I was actually surprised Sadie had a lot more energy than I did, but then again, like she works out, so that makes sense. Oh man, so how are you all today? I see some new faces. Yeah, unless I'm not recognizing names. Like I see a guy named Nate Hawes. I'm seeing Human Stands Sands, and some of the regulars like Mousedon and Joe Care. That blonde artist, hey, how you doing? Human saying Sands said they might play Cyberpunk all day. Gotta distract myself for a few days. Oh, yeah, no, one of the Scott show. This is like hardcore. This is hardcore. Cancer Christ had had sound samples. That was about as high tech as it got. Wolfman, how you doing? Good to see you. Oh yeah, me and the other thing is that me and Guru, because I slept in late, like we did our recording for this week's vlog late, and that vlog is Evil Dead stream. I mean Evil Dead Rise, not Evil Dead stream. Jesus Christ, that would probably suck. You know, oh, we're live streaming Evil Dead. But there is a movie called Deadstream that you should check out, which is really good. It has the actress from VHS 99 who played Mabel in it. And she's a lot of fun. She's a lot of fun to watch. Just watching her just be crazy chick. I want to see her be crazy chick in a lot more shit, you know. Hell, I want that character of Mabel to come back. I feel like they should do another Siren movie, do another Lily movie, and have them actually go to hell and meet Mabel. So you got like both Lily and Mabel in the same story. Like that'd be great. Hey, George version. What is up? Hey, Jack, can you help me find a movie? All right, describe the movie. We'll see if the slut pick can help you out. Christian Shaw? Let me double check. No, that's not who I'm talking about. I'm talking about. Let's see. It'll be easier to find her in Deadstream. I believe it's Melanie Stone. Yeah, it's Melanie Stone. Oh, George, you got a stomach bug? Ooh, sorry about that, man. You need to get back into VCR. It's VHS, actually. You stopped the second one. Oh, the second one is bad. The second, well, actually, the second one's pretty good. The second one's got the best of one of the best of the VHS sequences, which is Safe Havens, done by the guy who did The Raid. That section was the best one that they had done for a long time. So it's worth it for that. The rest of the sequences are okay. You know, they go from pretty good to Safe Havens, which is definitely the high point. The third one kind of blew. Like VHS Viral blew. That was not very good. The one that they did after that when they revived the series, I forget which one that is. But basically the fourth one. Yeah, VHS 94. VHS 94 was pretty good. It's not as good as the first two, but you're like, all right. The highlight of that one is Ratma, which is like, I think it's the first one, where they go into a fucking sewer and find a rat god. That one's really good. But the rest of them are just they're okay. They're pretty, they're decent. They're watchable. I think 94 is also the one that is about zombies that have like cybernetic zombies. I think. That one is also pretty good. It's not as good as Ratma, but it's very good. Whereas VHS 99 is really good all the way through, and the last one, and they save the best for last. Is there a prequel called Betamax? Yeah, Hail Ratma. No, there's not. Oh yeah, I would recommend VHS 94 and 99. I would recommend them without hesitation. Which one was the VHS that had the right ringers with the vampire? I believe that was 94. I believe that was the last one in 94. But the last one of 99 has them going to hell and running into a character called Mabel, who is amazing. And that's the one played by Melanie Stone. Uh, Jesse Sharon actually did a great. Let me see if I can find it. She did a great little cartoon of the character of Mabel. It might be a little too far back. Oh, yeah, it's way back here. Yeah. It's like, I don't think I'm going to find it. I think it has to go too far back because, like, she drew that cartoon right after she saw the movie when it premiered. So yeah, that'd be way back in like, mid 22. Let's see. As for the movie I'm looking for, I think it involves a cult. It was released this year, last year. It's almost Hammer like. Dude, you're going to have to be more specific. There are a lot of cult movies that have come out recently. Which one had the camera on or in the glasses? They're okay. Are you talking about the one that had the succubus or the one that was set in a house? Because there are actually like two segments that had that premise. If you're talking about the one where the guy could see dead people, that was VHS. That was the second one, which I believe, yeah, VHS 2. That was VHS 2. The one with the succubus was the first bit of VHS, the original VHS. You have a big move. Canterman says, I have a big move coming up. The succubus, yeah, that's the first one from V8, the original VHS. Like right after you get through the first part of the bookend, which is just guys breaking into the house. You know, the first actual tape they watch is called Amateur Night. And it has Lily the succubus in it. That's her first appearance. She eventually got her own movie, but I didn't like it as much as the short because I felt like the short was way cooler and way more graphic. Let's see. Caterman says I have a big move coming up, so that's what's stressing me out. Oh. Yeah, aren't you in Texas too? I recently saw this thing that was all about like people leaving Houston. And I was like, oh, I guess a lot of people are being priced out of Houston, you know? And I'm like, priced out of Houston? Well, that's fucked up. Best friend has a phobia of clowns. He decided to watch Terrifier. Well, yeah. Lily in Siren, Lily wasn't. She's like the center character, but she's not like the main. It's weird. Caterman's like, no, I live in Georgia. Oh, okay. Oh, they're throwing you out of a place in Georgia? Jesus. Decided to text me his reactions after watching Terrifier. Oh, geez, I bet those were gold. Have him watch the second one. Terrifier 2. The original Terrifier I wasn't impressed with, but Terrifier 2 I loved. All the Californians are gentrifying Texas, lol. I don't know about that, Hoss. Yeah, a lot of people from California moved to Texas and Florida, but are now, like, moving back. And it's like, what are the major reasons for this? It's like, hey, let's think about it. Why do you think people from California are leaving Texas and Florida? Oh, could it be political reasons? You think? Oh, yeah, we'd like to restrict our access to birth control and live in a place where trans people can't be themselves. Yeah, that sounds like a good idea. No, fuck it. You'll pay higher rent in California not to have to deal with that shit. Trust me. He thinks it's the most beautiful. Let's see, as for him watching Terrifier, I think it's the most brutal movie he's seen. He just found out there's a sequel. I don't know if it's the most brutal movie I've ever seen, but then again, I've seen a lot, so maybe it is the most brutal movie he's ever seen. Let's see, I live in coastal Maine. Oh, geez. And in some places, like 5 miles from me, rent can reach $2,000 plus a month for an apartment. What kind of apartment? Like a 2-bedroom or a 1-bedroom? Yeah, a lot of Californians moved to Texas. The tech industry moved there, and now they're moving back. Because it turns out the tech industry didn't really move there. It was just assholes like Elon Musk. And you would think that that would mean a lot, but it actually doesn't. Because you're still having to deal with Silicon Valley all the time. You still have to communicate with people in Silicon Valley all the time. So why put up with all the rest of that shit? Also, all of their like tax incentives have failed to fucking attract more companies. It has just failed. 1 to 2 bedroom, yeah, them's California prices. Actually, it's the lower end of California, but yeah. $1,000 per month in Georgia? Good God. Yeah, George's like, I have friends that are moving back to the Bay Area. Well, yeah. Are you in Tennessee or you're in Mississippi, right? I think I remember you telling me you were in Mississippi. Yeah, the problem with moving to a major place in California is that whatever money they're asking, it's worth it. But if you don't have the money, you got a problem. It's the one thing I don't like. Well, there are a lot of things I don't like, but like that's a big one. Yeah. You're in Mississippi. Yeah. Oh, can't imagine someone moving to Mississippi from California and going like, yeah, I'm gonna stay here. Like that's Mississippi gonna cramp their style something serious. Texas is an at-will state. Yep. But for electricity as well. Well, as I kept saying, you can't really run a tech industry with an unstable power grid. Pretty grim, but at least I have family helping me out. Yeah. Yeah, man. Cities, dude. cities, dude, like it's really interesting. I liken what is happening now to like white panic or white fear, but it's not. These people are actually being driven away. People are being driven away from rural areas because of everything that's going on right now. You know, and a lot, and one thing that some people used to say is like, well, you got to change the electorate. No, you got to live first. You got to live first. And some of these places are not good unless you are not only straight, but outwardly racist and homophobic. And that's a problem. That is a real problem. Most of the people I know that are staying in those areas, it's because they own property there. Like they don't pay rent; they own property. Anyone who just rents is like leaving. He moved out to California. We got a job with Google. Yeah, you got a taste of that California freedom, and it's hard to come back from that. It's hard to leave that because you spend a lot of time wondering why the fuck anyone would live there, let alone you. Wages are coming up. Yeah, that's good. I mean, I'm annoyed because back when we were pushing for $15 an hour, I'm like, no, everyone just needs to bite the fucking bullet. Do it now while you can. Don't fight it. Because what you're actually fighting when you fight that is economic recovery. Economic recovery is not based on how much the rich people get. It is how much money the poorer people get. Especially now that we're getting rid of that middle class, Before it used to be about the middle class. And the middle class was big enough that, it mattered. It would actually do something. But, not so much anymore. Because middle class is all about how much money you make. It ain't about any inborn anything. It's all about how much money you make. It's not even about how hard you work. You fucking show me anyone who fucking works harder than the migrant farmhand. Anybody. Mm-mm. You telling me a CEO does 1,000,000 times the work of a farmhand? Bullshit. He told him and his fiancée he would let me move in and out there and help me get settled over there. I would take advantage of that. It'll be a culture shock, but in a good way. Yeah, I would, something I told my dad so a few months ago, my dad offered me the house that I grew up in. And I was like, all right, are you giving me the house or are you just allowing me to live in it? Rent free. Because if you're giving me the house, I got to be straight with you, Dad. I'm going to sell it. Too many bad memories, and I don't want to live in that area. I would rather be homeless in California than living in that house in Maryland. Yeah, I would think about considering your friend's offer there, George, because it's. export the best of Redneck and leave the worst behind. Because there's a lot that actually... There is a lot in redneck culture that is actually worth preserving. The ability to cut loose and party is a big deal. It's a big deal, and I think the kids need it. And of course, because I brought up the best Redneck, I gotta bring up Insane Clown Posse. Eat a shit. Like, Juggalo was not something that I was into when it was at its height. But these days, I'm like, nah, I get it now. I get it now. Yo, bunch of rednecks super into rap, super into horror. Not bad. And of course, the audience participation on their shows is unmatched. I ain't seen anything like that in forever. Yeah, just watching the way those guys fucking get the crowd to fucking participate. It's insane. It is literally insane. That's their superpower. It ain't the lyrics. Like, the lyrics are okay. Their fucking beats are okay. But their audience participation is unmatched. I challenge anybody to get a fucking crowd to fucking participate in a show like the Insane Clown Posse. Like, I think they're actually even better at it than Guar. Which, I know, blasphemy. And those guys are all about being rednecks, but not being racist. It's a big deal to them. And they're super anti-MAGA. You know, it's like, I used to make fun of these guys, and now I'm like, oh, no, I get it. I get it now. Oh, man. Hey, Flashman, how you doing? Nate Haas says, man, that's a thing, too. We are developing a seriously large homeless population. Man, it's too damn cold for tent cities. People are going to die. Yeah, that's why they all come to California. It's all about survival. People are like, well, it's California. California has a big homeless problem because of this political thing. No, it's because it's warm. So they don't die in the winter. Duh. Yeah, magnets, how do they work? The thing is I don't think I don't think they meant it as stupid as it sounded. Would it be safe to assume ICP is the Gen X Millennial Grateful Dead? No, that would be Fish. I mean, they're definitely like tapping into that same vibe, but you know, as far as like how they do their shows, but like, nah. If we're talking about like an analog Grateful Dead, I go with Fish.
Yeah, and you know, juggalos ain't never afraid to cuss. Open the windows and let it out. Come on, here we go. Fuck, shit, pussy, ass, motherfucking damn, bitch, damn, motherfucking ass, pussy, shit, fuck. Yeah, the only thing was some of y'all sounded a little scared. again, twice as loud, and be proud. Fuck shit, pussy ass, motherfucking damn bitch, damn motherfucking ass, pussy shit, fuck. All right, fam, that's what
You
we
know,
are.
gotta export the best of that redneck.
Everybody look to the person next to you, in front of you, behind you, give 'em a
Because, like I said, I think the things about it worth saving. Hey, the barbecue pit. Fried chicken? Hell yeah.
up. You missed somebody.
Fair enough, but yeah, just enjoying my day off. Good on you for having a day off, man. Got rice cooking.
Pull out your guns. All right, juggalos, let me hear that filthy mouth. Fuck shit, pussy ass, motherfucking damn bitch. Yeah, there it is, chop chop slide, also known as the juggalo step. And always remember, what album is this on? Bang Pow Boo. 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 What album is this on?
Yeah, that's a band I didn't get until much later. You know, like, I feel bad about it because I busted on them. I made fun of them, and I'm like, oh, shit. Nah, I didn't understand what was going on. I just didn't get it. Now I do. Now I do get it. I get why they have their following. I get what it is they're doing. You know? And that's one of the things I mean about Best of Redneck. Another example of the Best of Redneck, Rob Zombie. Rob Zombie. Yeah, we ain't getting monetized on this shit. Let's just go for it. Hey, Hurricane Matty, how you doing? Just got out of work. Oh, man, what are you doing these days, Hurricane? Oh, man, that was another thing about that show I went to. Kids are spray painting shit. I'm like, graffiti? Damn, been a hot minute. And we're not talking like super good, like art gallery graffiti either. We're just talking like, you know, like, fuck you. Like, fuck Jesus, you know? Like, not staying was moving from bed to sofa. Night shift in downtown Pittsburgh. What do you... Night shift to what? Like, obviously not retail work. What, security guard? Yeah, kids are tagging again. I know, right? Graffiti, don't mind if I do. Yeah, exactly. I was like, hold up. I smell spray paint propellant. Hey, welcome back, Blonde Artist. How's it going? It's going good. Oh, yeah, another bit of good news that I had over the weekend. I'm working on doing a live play of Babylon over at the Weave the Tale Network, and apparently the call that they put out has gotten a tremendous response from their audience. According to them, it's one of the biggest responses they've ever gotten, if not the biggest. So that feels good. That feels good. He used to blow cans up in fires. Oh yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah. I done that. Well, I mean, I did that until like it got a little. What if we put that in a spray paint can and then put holes in it and then set that on fire? Let's see what happened then. Boom. That's in my backyard too. I'm amazed nothing got like fucking set on fire. I don't know how that happened. The guy who lit the flame got knocked back a couple of feet, burned his eyebrows off, but that was about it. Renegade Games about to get all your money. Oh, what's happened over at Renegade Games? Matt Mercer's making his own RPG. Oh yeah. I saw that. That's good. That's good stuff. He already did like I think it was I forget which setting it was. I think it was the Vox Machina setting. He already published that through Wizards. Yeah, pure luck, Stacy. I have no idea what happened. Oh geez, yeah. Like luckily the can didn't explode entirely. The top blew off. Like the top blew off, and I think that's what saved us. Because the fire just went directly up into the air, and so all that was left was like the shock wave. You know, no shrapnel. Can was fucked, but it didn't like blow into pieces. The top blew off. We got lucky. Yeah, we got super fucking lucky on that shit. Ah, let's see. Renegade Game Studios. Oh, is that who's? Oh, right. Those are the ones that did like the fucking Transformers and GI Joe games. Yeah. They're owned by Wizards. PDF Transformers role playing game. The tie is now adventure book. Well, that's cool, but like, I don't know if I'm gonna. I need a core rule book. Is what I need. Free bonus content. Oh, more bonus content? Apparently. Oh no, that's the old one. That's the old one. Okay, I already got that. Two new Power Rangers source book that is basically the space stuff, the monster manual. They're releasing a book that is supposed to help in making crossover games. Good. That's good stuff. Yeah, Hasbro now owns everything. I know what you mean. Night, Stacy. Take care. Yeah, a lot happening in that TTRPG space and shit. Like I don't even know what to make of it. I'm hoping Babylon will succeed. But like, I hope it succeeds financially. I hope it succeeds in the marketplace. But like, to me, the real success will be determined by how many people play the game, like get together and play the game. And that's a big deal to me. That's a big deal to me. I want people to actually be playing the game, and I want it to find its intended audience. If that intended audience is not enough to get it financially successful, that okay, whatever. But I really want it to find its audience, and I really hope it makes an impact. Yeah, of course I played the Call of Cthulhu TTRPG. I mean, I haven't played it in a long ass time. I think I played it when it was in 5th edition. Meaning Call of Cthulhu 5th edition, which means like back in the 90s. Oh, Renegade Games did Kids on Bikes? I thought that was somebody else. Huh, I didn't know they made that either. Let me. Do. Access and outline. No, I don't see it on their website. Let's see, role-playing games, shop the collection. Let's see what we got. Role-playing game, Hunter the Reckoning. Oh, they're putting out Hunter the Reckoning. Okay. Let's see what else we got. Let's see, G.I. Joe, Alice is Missing, Altered Carbon. Oh, okay. They picked up a bunch of stuff. Outbreak Undead, My Little Pony, Oni Games. Who did that? Junior Brave Survival Guide to the Apocalypse. Renegade Originals. The Field Guide to Action and Adventure. Essence 20 Role Playing System Field Guide to Action and Adventure Crossover Source Book. Power Rangers, G.I. Joe, and Transformers. Sweet. Also did one called Wardlings. And they're doing the Vampire the Masquerade, looks like. Like, I guess Renegade Games fucking swallowed up Mephidius. I gotta admit, though, I've actually been a little disappointed. I really like the Vampire the Masquerade 5th core book, but I have been really disappointed in the supplements. Very disappointed. Like, the Sabbat book doesn't even allow you to play the Sabbat. I'm like, that's fucked. That's really fucked. I don't like that one bit. What was the name of the channel that you're doing the Babylon playtest? I believe it is Weave the Tale. Yeah, Weave the Tale. All one word. The only thing I know about the new VTM is what Joe told me. It's a much better system. It's the way they brought the setting back is actually really cool. Um, I actually thought it was a good idea to have it Anarchs versus the Camarilla. But if you're gonna put out a Sabbat book, come on, man, come on, you know. I'm like, no, really do it. Really make the Sabbat cool. But they're the bad guys. Yeah. Yeah. Oh man, the vampire live play that I used to listen to, LA by Night, ended. I was really bummed because I was really into that story. Yeah, like the Vampire the Masquerade, the One of the Darkest character sheets were never the greatest, but this one looks particularly like, oh, I guess, you know, not very inspiring. Which I think is too bad because I'm like, oh come on, you got all this layout shit happening and you can't snazz it up a little bit. You know, let me do we have an export or a save as? Save as PDF. No, I don't want to save as PDF. What are you talking about? Save as other. I wonder, can I just pull a. Let me see if I can just pull a PDF on a dang thing. Never tried before. Nope, doesn't look like it. Won't let me do that shit. Let me see if I can convert it into a JPEG. Export to image. All right, here we go. Whoa. Big. Guess I just have to put that shit in the middle. Do 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 do. I'm gonna be right with you. All right, so this is the sheet that we got for. Oh, wait, no. I accidentally put two copies of the same one. Do I wish to remove? No, no, no. I won't do that. Yeah, there we go. That's better. I don't know how we got like two of the same one. Yeah, that's the character sheet for Babylon right there. There's a one with a male silhouette as well. Do do do. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think it's pretty nice. It's in progress too, because as the game changes, we're moving shit around. Currently working on the Cabal system. Now, can you play as a Frankenstein? Not yet, but that is on the docket for book two. Frankensteins are part of the setting. It's just one of those like we had to pare it down. For time purposes, we pared it down to 5 Nightkin races, which are vampire, hellspawn, ghoul, werewolf, and Medusa. But there is intended to be a lot more, and one of the uh, one of the ones that we want to put in the second book are the Frankensteins, the Frankies. Some of the others that might be in that book are oh god, what do you call it? The Hides, the Jekyll and Hyde. Another one that will be, which we're going to offer in the main book as an incentive. Like, we reach a certain point, we'll put this in the main book. And that is the Bastet. Hairless cat people. Some of the others that we're working on are the Slipmouth Woman. We making a Monster High RPG? If Monster High met fucking Dusk Till Dawn, like, think of it that way. It's if Monster High met Dusk Till Dawn. Because you're not in high school. You're like out in the world. Well, like, there's a game called Monster Hearts, but I don't like it that much. It's the problem with it is that it does what it intended to do, but therein lies the problem. It was intended to be Mean Girls meets monsters. And it was a teenage romance high school setting. The problem is that it is an emotionally taxing game. You know, Literally there is a class that gets power if you make them feel bad about themselves and shit like that. And I'm like, ooh, that's a great mechanic, but I wouldn't say that was, fun to play. That's going to upset everybody. No, it's not Monster High the college years. This is like punk rock and roll street level monsters. Like the default setting is in Los Angeles. Can you be rat people? We haven't answered. We haven't determined that yet. That was an idea that came up. There might be were rats eventually, but that's not on the schedule. But it is an idea that was kicked around. Can you be a cat people? Yes. But whether that's in the core book or the second book, if we get there, will be determined by how well the Kickstarter goes. Right now, the Kickstarter has been moved to October. And I know that we keep kicking it back and we keep kicking it back, and I am embarrassed about that. All I can tell you is that it's not due to laziness. It is all because we've never written a game manuscript before. So it's a complicated endeavor. especially for a very small team. No, this is more one of the things that you do in the game is you create a cabal, your hangout group. And the hangout group is determined by what it is you do. Because everyone lives in this sort of hidden monster world known as Babylon, which is a subterranean city that you get through like old tunnels, disused basements, and shit like that. But you don't get to live there to start with because you a scrub. Like you a scrub, so you still topside. You still on in the more. You have to interface with the mortal world, but you all provide a service to the community. And that service is what your cabal does. Right now, the ones that are definitely going in, because we had more ideas that we could actually put into a single manual and not make it overwhelming. Uh, the Chuck Wagon, we're currently calling it the Chuck Wagon, who are scene cleaners and food truck operators simultaneously. The whole idea behind the Chuck Wagon was, if you've seen John Wick, the original John Wick, when he calls that dude up and is like, I need 12 reservations, and those dudes show up and just clean the area, I was like, man, what if that was actually like, I need reservations because I got bodies to sell for people to eat. So that was the idea behind that. Like, you show up at crime scenes, you buy things that people have killed and you turn it into things that people can eat. Um but like, you've also got like the problems of like operating a food truck, like territorial battles with other kitchens, that sometimes get a little violent, you know. So you and the idea is that the Nightkin are killable, but usually not through normal violence. You can shoot someone and defeat them. They'll be out of combat, but like they'll come back. But that's how like a lot of territorial battles are decided. Like you meet on the street, whoever wins that night gets it. But if you like come in and you're like gonna true death people, that's like, oh, that's an extra level. That's like, oh shit, like that means it's bad. You're not supposed to kill people like permanent. Not when you're dealing with other Nightkin. When you're dealing with other shit, like, yeah, kill it permanent. Like human hunters, like, fuck them. Human hunters, just kill them. Like, they're trying to kill you by default. So, like Necromunda, a little bit like Necromunda, not entirely, but it's a little bit like that. Someone will try to play as a vegan. Okay, like a vegan in Nightkin terms means that you don't eat people. And some forms of feeding are like more permanent than others. Like ghouls and werewolves like eat living things. They're like, oh, love it when they struggle. Yeah, true deathing a Nightkin is typically a bad move. Like that's frowned upon. Like, you take a hit to your reputation that way, you know? But, like, part of the idea behind this game is that there hasn't been a role playing game that allowed you all to play, like, different types of creatures. Like, you can't be in the world of darkness and have, like, a werewolf hanging out with vampires. And I always thought that was a real shame. Like, from the beginning, I thought that that was short sighted. I thought that they should have totally fucking been compatible with each other. But like, werewolves in combat so outclass vampires, it's kind of not doable. Say nothing of mages. And it gives you an idea and a possible story. Yeah, go for it. Yeah, you also said like kind of like Nightkin to TTRPG. Yeah, a little bit, except like the main difference being that the monsters are a little bit are more shit that you've heard about as opposed to complete freaks of nature. Um, because I thought about doing the complete freaks of nature thing, but like it didn't. I couldn't figure out it didn't have the right feel to it. Um, However, with that said, uh, one of the things that we're gonna do, there was a sixth Nightkin race that was going to be in the main book, and then we realized it got too complicated. Um, and that are the Witchborn. The Witchborn are were supposed to be somewhere between Carrie and the Nightbreed. You know, like you were a little almost a little unique. Um, but when we were putting that together, there was so many ideas that we had for it. We're like, we can't put this in the main book. It's too complicated. You know, there would be just a chapter on this one type. So we're saving it for a second book. It'll either be the second book or a book all of its own, depending on how much content uh the second book has. Like if there's room to put it in, then we'll put it in there. Yeah, I always thought World of Darkness would be better if vampires, werewolves, mages, and the Fae hung out. Oh yeah, which brings me to another one. There's like there are going to be Fae, but they are not like the Fae of Changeling the Dreaming. They're going to be way closer to Changeling the Lost. Uh, the one Fae based race that we have is well, it's going to be in the main book as a creature that we want to bring as a player character called the Huldra, the Hulder. Um, and they eat people. White Wolf needs space clowns, the Killinging. Well, we have a monster called the Fright Clowns. They lay eggs. They cover things in cotton candy. They're not considered a Nightkin race. They're considered too weird because they can't you can't bring them into the societal norms of Babylon because they just are too crazy. But they are a monster. Yeah, they are totally based on Killer Clowns from Outer Space. You know, like imagine Killer Clowns from Outer Space meets fucking Pennywise. That was the idea. There's actually a historical moment in the setting in 2006 where they first start to appear. Because, you know, no, 2000, I think it was 2016 actually. Basically, remember when like there was a year where it was like weird clowns are everywhere? That's like when they arrive. Yeah, the clowns are too weird for the Night Kid. They're really weird. Not that Nightkin can't look like a clown. It's just one of those to be an actual member of that species. Like they're inhuman. Night Wolf Man. But yeah, that's where we kind of are. Let's see, where is the. Do, 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 do. Okay. I'll show you the pitch I sent over the Weave the Tail that got the response. All right. There we go. Yeah, it's a little it's a little text heavy. I tried to condense it. But I wanted to get across a lot of information. Really like the picture of that werewolf smoking the cigar. Yeah, that's also like one of the things about the werewolves of this setting. Like they keep their hairstyle and they wear clothes, when they transform. Put an organization of fright clowns wanting to join the Nightkin. Oh, okay. That'll be your game. Uh that'll be your game, and that's okay. If it gets enough response, maybe we'll do like a small free PDF for people who want to do that. Now, where is do werewolves buy clothes size up to compensate for their fur? The
The Highlander was a
that
documentary, and the events happened in real time.
that is that is assumed. It's assumed that most of your clothes comes with you. You get to play as Medusa, Succubus, Batgirl, Wolfboy, or Whitney Houston. Oh, see. That's wrong. That's wrong. But yeah, I'm pretty excited. Looking forward to it, Hoping everything goes well. Of course artistically I'm like, oh man, I got a lot riding on this. Hoping it all works out. Whew. Yeah, what can I say, man? Thrilling and scary. What's a stream date? It's going to be in the next 2 weeks. The announcement's going to happen in the next 2 weeks. It all depends on, because we gotta find everybody and then schedule everybody. Yeah, that's all I could tell you for right now. If I had a date, I would tell you. Yeah, I will definitely make an announcement on the Twitter, if nothing else. Whew. Man. Well, it wouldn't be a Satanic Sunday if I didn't talk a little bit about Satan. You know, and I definitely felt like I felt a little bit of the energy on that Saturday night. You know? Despite the fact that one of the songs was Satan Was a Bitch. Can't laugh at yourself, who can you laugh at? But we're entering a time of great rebellion. I don't know exactly what form it's going to take. I don't know exactly what kind of effect it's going to have. But it's going to be something. It is going to be something. You say, I see your passion in the game comes through when you talk about, oh, thank you, George. Thank you, George. Good. Hopefully that will help. You know, but it does be good to see the blasphemy. You know, in a world, it makes sense, right? In a world where Christian nationalism is starting to become a thing, you know, or is becoming a thing, like it makes sense that the reaction to that would be blasphemy. Because we don't want to be ruled as a Christian nation. We don't want to be ruled by any religion. That's not right. That's not right. Because you know how that shit works. Like, first it'll be like a Christian nation, and then they're going to fucking try to find the most extreme form of that. A position that's already extreme, and they'll move towards that. You know, right now it's you're not allowed to talk about it, but they're already talking about putting people in camps. Like, that was faster than I expected. I figured we had a couple more years before that crap started, but nah, they're starting it now. So so whenever you hear someone say like, no, they're not going to stop with this. They have a plan and they're executing on it. They do. They do. They want to put trans people in camps. They want to put homeless people in camps. You know, if they can, they'll put ethnic people in camps. You know, yeah. Italy's got a similar problem. Not good. Yeah, you're trans, so great times. Exactly. You know, I don't want to have to live through Nazi times. But I don't want anyone to live like that either. Hey, Antivamp, how you doing? Yeah, I don't want anyone to have to live under that. And I don't know, man. You know, they keep saying Trump got no shot if he goes up for re-election, but like, I don't know. They said that last time. If he wins, it definitely won't be a fair fight. I'll tell you that. You know, I'll tell you that. Like, if he actually like wins the election, it's like, no, that election will have been stolen. He won't be alive in those times? Well, it depends. Some people's chances are definitely less than others. You know, trans people's chances are bad. Which pisses me off because I'm like, I don't get it. I mean, I understand it being weird to some people, but I don't understand all the hate. Oh no! They're coming for our children. They're not. My kid is trans, and it's because they saw a trans person read a children's book in a library. So they thought it was okay. Well, first of all, shouldn't it be? Second of all, fuck you. You know, they say if Jesus came back, they would crucify him. I say it's worse. I say Jesus appears to them every day, and they crucify Jesus every day. You gotta remember, a lot of these people are the same people that fucking thought Martin Luther King went too far. Really? All he was asking is that black people be treated equally. That's going too far in America? Fuck you. Yeah, it's like, it's weird to say that, like, when people say, like, America don't have a racism problem, it got a white supremacy problem. I really get what they're talking about. It is amazing how much stuff that if you're a normal, like, thinking person that you don't like, all happened because of white supremacy and racism. All of it. Even the abortion thing. That was just a Trojan horse for fucking white supremacists to get back in power using the language of Christianity. That's why they also hate Catholics. Because even though the Catholics say abortion is bad, they also say capital punishment is bad. Can't have that. Can't have that. Got to be able to put people to the fucking stone and kill them. That's conservative Christianity's answer to everything. Kill them all, let God sort them out. When the media pushed for trans acceptance, I thought it would end badly. Well, it was either that or hide. It's either that or live a lie, man. It's either that or live a lie. You tell me which is worse. You tell me which is worse. And if you say living a lie is better, I counteract. I counteract with There's more than one way to die. Yeah, I love that he take his message about judging people. Yeah, MLK's message about content of the character as a message about bootstraps. Yeah. Because there are a lot of people that think rich people are their betters. Well, they know better because they're rich. Or are they just better liars? Like, what's more common than a poor man getting fucked over by a rich man? Seriously. Seriously. I hate that shit. Pulled up by your boots. You can't pull yourself up by your bootstraps. You're only going to trip yourself. Pull yourself up by your... Work will set you free, right? Epiphany's Realm. My Jack is a Christian. Okay, this is already going bad. Who loves your content, is intrigued by your views. Do you refer to Christianity's answer to everything as the higher-ups or individual members? Perhaps a combo of both. To me, it is a combo of both. Whole movement is corrupt. Whole fucking movement is corrupt. If you can't even support and live a life where the white women are equal, what the fuck is wrong with you? A woman's place is wrong, already done. Already the argument's over. No, you're talking about, because when you say that shit, when they say that shit, they're not talking about like colored women. They're talking about white women. Like, they're people. Did I hear that J.K. Rowling reacted to a troll tweet by the Amazing Atheist? Not a lot of people asking her about bananas. No, I didn't. Also, I don't get the joke. I think you got to be in a little too deep on that. Like, both J.K. Rowling and the Amazing Atheist understand that. And while I don't have a problem with atheism as a position, I'm not really an atheist. I'm agnostic at best. I have my beliefs, but I don't know that they are facts. And so I will not act as if they are. Ketterman says, yeah, it's been corrupt for a long time. Yeah, absolutely. A lot of people want to hold on, because here's the thing. You can either hold on to Christianity or the message of Jesus at this point. You got to make a choice. Because those two things, incompatible. They're totally incompatible. Very incompatible. And I get, because I'm like, no. I read the, I got the Bible with the Jesus quotes in red. I'm like, I read that. I totally get what he's talking about. I totally get what he's talking about. I totally get what Jesus is saying. That ain't the Christian way. Not these days. Maybe not ever. Which is fucked up. Beyond fucked up. This is the most rational explanation of belief system you've ever heard? Well, it is mine. I refuse to act as if it is fact. because that's not its place. And facts aren't part of the world of belief either. Although that's an easier, most people understand that. At this point, I need sweet LGBTI plus friends. Can't even avoid it anymore. The battle's won. Yeah. Yeah. The question, in my opinion, is not whether that battle will be won, but where. You know, I really do think that there's a chance that there are going to just be parts of America that just completely fall apart. And if you're in a place where they're persecuting, you know, fucking trans people, that's not a place I would bet on fucking not falling apart. I'd put good money that they would fall apart, even Ohio. Show me one nation, one fundamentalist nation that is rich and succeeds, that isn't Saudi Arabia. Because, yeah, it's got oil. But what happens when it's gone? What are they going to do after that? And isn't that day kind of coming? Can't we see it coming over the horizon? They're headed for ruin. Ruin. And they know it. May not happen in the next couple of decades, but it's going to happen. Poor Jeeves is stuck to the golden throne his followers have built for him, never allowed to rest as his followers continue to sacrifice in his name. Yep. Yup. Yup. Absolutely. You know. And yeah, I will say one thing for the conservatives. They are right. Companies are courting what they call the woke demographic more than them. Because it's been made very clear it's us or them. And if you're a company that sells shit, who you going to go with? The larger demographic or the smaller one? That's how I know not all hope is lost. Like, there will be victories in a lot of places. But I don't know if it's going to be a victory everywhere. By the way, I hope I answered your question, Epiphany's Realm. Yeah, but when someone says that they're a Christian, I don't respect that at all. I'll accept it as a fucking stated belief system, but I don't have any particular respect for it. Too much evidence to the contrary. You did, thank you. Hope it helped. You know, one thing I will agree with is there are a lot of people saying, like, yeah, I wish they actually followed the words of Jesus. Yeah, me too. Me too. That'd probably be okay. Probably be in a... But nah, some motherfuckers gotta ice skate uphill. To quote Blade. You know, like, come on. Like, because I mean, think about it this way. If you in a sundown city, if you don't know what a sundown city is, that's a city where you're not allowed to be black after sundown. And by allowed, that means, like, will come after you. Aren't as many of them as there used to be, thankfully. But yeah, they're making a return. Is that place Jewish or Christian? Y'all know the answer. Y'all know the answer. Christian fucking so segregated, they have black churches. And black churches ain't part of conservative Christianity. They ain't considered the right demographic because they vote Democrat, because Democrats are like, well, these people deserve to live, right? They may still screw over those areas, but they don't, there's no disagreement on whether they're allowed to exist. And sometimes that's all you got. Sometimes that's all you can vote for. People talk about lesser of two evils, and I'm like, yeah, that's what it always is. That's what it's always been, because the evil is inside of us. If it didn't appeal to somebody, do you think that would even get to the ballot box? Come on. Someone thinks that they can succeed in electoral politics with that language. So yeah, it's always the less of two evils. Always. You can't even make that decision. I'm sorry, you gotta look inside yourself and ask why. That's easy. That is an easy one. Yeah, they're not the right demographic. They celebrate their faith. You're not wrong. You know, white man shoots a fucking black kid at his front door. What religion is he? Not gonna be Buddhist. I believe the direct segregation of a sacred place, such as a church, is a direct disobeyment of what would be an all-loving God. I agree. It is very much evidence against it. And definitely evidence that they don't actually believe it. As I like to keep saying, what happens if Jesus shows up to you and you know is Jesus and it's a black trans person? What if Jesus shows up to you as a black trans person? Don't tell me what you would do, because you know. And that's where you got to start. That's where you got to start. I don't need to hear your answer. You know the answer. And you know if that answer is fucking good enough in the eyes of the Almighty, of the all-forgiving, of the all-loving. I took my daughter to it. It's feminist horror, way harder on gals. 8-10 for the rest of us. Wait, what are you talking about? Whoever shows kindness to the least of those, you do so unto me. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. You know, even though I'm a Satanist, whenever I see someone in a bad spot, that's it. There it is. That's the Jeebus. You know, that's the Jesus. How I treat that person is all about how close I am to being Christ-like. I fall short a lot. I fall very short. But I don't think that they're lesser people. It's just sometimes I got to look out for myself. But if I saw somebody mistreating them, I would not be happy. I would have to intervene. You may not get my $5, but I will be damned if someone takes away your ability to be a person. No. No good. Yeah, I don't even say as long as you're not hurting you or others anymore. I say I will judge you later. I will judge you based on other things. Because I know that, like, no group of people is superior to another. Not all. Not at all. Not even a little. And it's hard to break yourself out of that mindset because it's something we all grow up in. You know, some people, whether or not we don't necessarily say it that way. But a lot of people say, yeah, Alva Satanas. A lot of people assume and believe that for example, the president, well, if he's my candidate, he's clearly a better person than I am. I must obey. No. To obey anything outside of that which elevates all of mankind through love, unacceptable. Yeah, that's 1,000 Corpses is a great movie. It's a great movie. I love that opening. One of the best openings ever. Yeah, but I believe that that part of the purpose of us, of humanity, is to help out and love each other and even elevate each other so that we can all discover who we really are. And there are some people you can trust, some people you can't. Are you trustworthy? Can you be trusted with someone's heart and someone's life? Can you be trusted to do the best you can? That's the big question. That's the big question. If you're going to see 3 from Hell, I would recommend seeing Devil's Rejects first, because that's the second movie. That's the sequel to House of 1,000 Corpses. Very different in tone. Very different in tone. Extremely good. Yeah, the discovery of other people, to me, is a discovery of who can be trusted. Who could be trusted with the heart of humanity. Who could be trusted with humanity's heart and to do what is best, not only for the collective, but for the individual. Because those two things cannot be separate. They cannot be allowed to be separate. You know, that's the Christ way. And if you're like, wow, that sounds really hard, it is. It is. If being Christ-like was easy, everyone would be doing it. And I see the Christ in Satan. I see the Christ in Satan. Why wouldn't there be? Is he not also God's creation? Well, yeah, why wouldn't there be an angel that is here to test humanity? If Satan tempts you, it's because the temptation lives within you. They say Satan is the prince of lies, but I'm like, maybe. But he is also the knower of the truth. He is also a guiding light. Remember, he is associated with the morning, the first star of the morning star. It's just that he shines brightest in darkness. Arguably where you need it the most. Arguably where you need it the most. Because what is it the devil punishes you for? Is it because you love the wrong person? No. It's because you gave in. You gave in to your worst nature. And there's the punishment. Because what does your worst nature do? It cuts you off from the love of your fellow mankind, your fellow humans. You say, it's not that this world is more important than paradise, it's that you, the ego, is more important than paradise. You are trying, we all as living beings, have our share of the burden of humanity's guilt to carry up the side of the mountain. But some people think they can get away with making other people pay that price. Doesn't work like that. You have to carry it. That's why it's so important for white people, particularly white people in the South, to say, yeah, slavery, man. That's what got me whatever advantages that I have. And it was wrong. It was wrong. I have to take my share of my father's guilt and carry it up the mountain because I inherited it. It's mine. That's what the real concept of original sin is. It's not, I wanted to have sex with some woman, ate some apple. No, the apple is the knowledge of the burden of what has come before you. That you have inherited fair or foul, whether it's right or not. You still got to deal with it. And those that would make others pay that price, try to make others pay that price, are the worst. Do I believe in demons inhabiting our world? Like I said about belief, I don't think of these things as fact. But do I believe there are demons? Yes. Are they good or evil? It depends. I'll tell you what that means. Gotta let this cat out. He's being a Mr. Kitty who wants out. Come on, Mr. Kitty. When we're not talking about outside of a fictional context, meaning like, a fictional world where demons are running around, like Babylon, do I believe they're real? I believe demons are real, but they are not what most people envision. To me, a demon is one of several things, but I'll give you what I go to the most. White supremacy is a demon. Greed is a demon. Anti-Semitism is a demon. Homophobia is a demon. It's a stray thought that possesses people. It possesses them and drives them to do bad things. Do I think that there are demons that drive people towards good things? Yes. Inspiration. The desire to tell the truth, to testify. I mean, of course, it depends on what the testament actually is, but that could be seen as a good thing. RILM, the pain of knowledge is how I feel about being Christian and Filipino. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I know exactly what you're talking about. You're like, oh my God, this version, this Christianity is part of my culture, but it's also the thing that oppresses and destroys my brothers and sisters and keeps us colonized. Wait. Exactly. Why do you think that's why Filipino culture tends to interface with Black American culture very well. Same thing. It's a similar demon. And that's what I think of when I think of a demon in the evil sense. The bell curve is a demon. IQ tests are a demon. Because it's all lies. It's all lies, all intended to make one group feel superior to another. It tells you you have the right. You have the right and the duty to act upon this, even though you know it's wrong. You know it's wrong. Yeah, Flashman, you like, oof. Yeah, because even if, like, because even if you're not Filipino, if you're Asian, like, you know what I'm talking about. Like, the Japanese have a slightly different one, which is they were a conquered people. If you're talking about, you know, we're talking like World War II and shit. And the Japanese had dealt with colonization itself, but in a very different way. You know, they didn't stop being fundamentally Japanese. Much and like the only people who tried to really colonize large sections of China were the Japanese. That didn't last long enough to have a lasting effect outside of generational resentment, and that's really only from the people in China, not the greater Asian diaspora. Like, those in the greater Asian diaspora have more in common with themselves than with the quote unquote homeland. A demon could probably motivate oneself for sure, even by harshness, to be viewed as a gift like tough love or so. Well, see, here's the thing. Tough love must be done with love. Otherwise, it's just abuse. I see very powerful demons like Asmodeus and Baphomet as instructors. But instructors in the way that, like, the old kung fu master's a fucking instructor. You know, sometimes they try to trick you. Sometimes they fuck with you. Sometimes they're harsh. They're like, nah, buddy, you failed. That is why you failed. You know? You know, and it is up for you, to the student, to absorb the lesson. Because the reality is how you absorb the lesson is a reflection of who you are. Big deal. Very big deal. There is a great lone wolf and cub story in the manga that I reference a lot, and it is lone wolf is contracted to kill a holy man. He takes the money, but when he finds the holy man alone and he could just strike him down, he can't do it. He can't bring himself to do it. And the holy man, without looking at him, goes like, ah, yes, you are here to kill me, but you cannot. I will tell you why you cannot. It is because you have not resolved yourself to the sevenfold path of evil. In a mountaintop near here, there is an abandoned temple. There, meditate for 7 days and 7 nights upon the nature of evil and return. So he does. And the next several pages of the comment are just they're wordless. It's just like the psychodrama going on in his head. You know, tornadoes and earthquakes and just all kinds of shit that he is envisioning. And finally, he opens his eyes and he realizes he's come to an epiphany. And as the holy man is being carried through the middle of the city, through the middle of town. Lone Wolf draws his sword and cuts his head off, cuts the holy man's head off. But right before he does, the holy man looks at him and goes, I knew you could do it. Why does the holy man do this? Because it is more important for this assassin to realize who he is than whether or not he, the holy man, lives. Enlightenment, even an evil enlightenment, is worth more than his life. Oh man, that was badass. Like, that to me is one of those, like, strike me down and I will become more powerful than you can possibly imagine. You know, like, that's why it's one of the reasons I also like Yoda from Star Wars so much. You know, because he's the same way. He is the same way. He's a good guy. You know, but he's the same way. You know, it's just that the dark side of the Force must be fought a very different way. You can't, you can fight it in a headlong competition. But to truly defeat it requires something else. It requires a different outlook on life. Master Yoda, is the dark side stronger? No. Quicker, easier, more seductive. You will know the will of the Force when you are calm, passive. When you allow it to tell you what it wants. You know? Consider how he even starts. He's this little guy, he's just fucking with Luke the whole time. Ooh, great warrior. Wars not make one great. He's like, will you show me, Master Yoda? Yes, take it to him, I will. But first, we eat. Yes, must have strength. And then, they get to Yoda's hut. Yoda's still being a bitch about it. You know, I cannot teach him. Was he any different than when you met me? Long have I watched him. Always looking to the horizon. Never his mind on where he was, What he was doing. Was I any different when you met me? He's too old. Yes, too old to begin the training. Like, he doesn't want to train this kid. He knows this kid's got destiny. He knows that I don't want to fucking do this. It sucks. It's hard. I don't want to do hard things. I'm old. Fuck you. You know, like, oh, I fucking love that. Yeah. It's because he's fucking based on, like, fucking Kung Fu masters. He's based on the Kung Fu master. Or the Buddhist, or the Zen Buddhist. That's what he's based on. It's like, no. Now it's time we eat, you know? Like, you gotta take care of yourself. You're a physical being. Luminous beings are we, not this crude matter. But, you know, the crude matter needs, tending to, It's also why, I know I make a lot of enemies saying this, but it's why I love The Last Jedi. Because I'm sitting there going, at the end, after, like, fucking, like, Luke does that, like, lightsaber battle, he's like, fucking defeats Kylo Ren, and he realizes, wait a minute, he's an illusion, he's just a projection. I sat there, and I just cheered. I cheered. I was like, yes! Fucking Jedi mind trick! Fucking ultimate Jedi mind trick, dude. Like, oh man, like Luke Skywalker's the best. Oh man, I loved that so much. I was like, hell yeah, when Yoda showed up, I cried. You know, oh, Skywalker, still looking to the horizon. I was like, oh man, this movie gets Yoda. It gets him. You know, like, but what about the sacred texts? Oh, you read them, have you? Well, I mean, like, page turners, they're not. It's like, look, them texts don't matter. They don't fucking matter. Ray matters. Ray's the one that matters. Not these fucking books. The hell's wrong with you? You fucked up again. That's why I gotta show up. I come out of the force and project to you and say, like, you, dude, you're fucking up. You gotta stop this shit. You gotta stop this ridiculous shit. You know better. You a Jedi Master. Come on. Yeah, I never understood why people object to the Force projection power. I was like, yeah, they're fucking space wizards, man. What are you talking about? He fought Kylo Ren without fighting him. That's the ultimate Jedi trick. Oh yeah, no, making Yoda a puppet. No, he got to be a puppet, man. It didn't read right in the prequels. Yeah, Yoda was badass, you know. It's also why I was really disappointed in fucking Rise of Skywalker. I was like, oh man, we're going back to like, we're going back to this shit, you know, like, come on, man. Like, I didn't mind the Palpatine bit. Like, oh, I didn't mind that Palpatine was there. But there's so much fucking wrong with Rise of Skywalker as a movie, let alone a fucking the final movie of a trilogy. So when they're like, yeah, we're thinking of doing some more movies with Rey, I'm like, I think you better. I think you better, because, like, in my opinion, that third movie does Rey dirty. Oh, yeah, I really wish Rian Johnson had done the third film. I'm like, no, give it to this man. He will give us Star Wars like we've never seen before. And that's exactly what I want. I mean, I saw the original trilogy. I love it. You know, almost perfect. Damn near perfect. Prequels. The farther away I got from them, the less I liked them. I had fun when I was watching them, but, like, they don't stand the test of time. Which is really too bad. Is really too bad. With that said, I think the Disney Plus Star Wars shows have done a great job of redeeming the prequels. Yeah, I like the idea that Rey had no fancy parentage either. Yeah, whereas fucking Kylo Ren had the legacy. He has everything that Rey doesn't. He had the family. He has the destiny. He has the everything. Rey has none of it. I would even have been okay with Rey being a clone of Palpatine, like a failed clone, like a Bad Batch kind of situation. but then I'm like, but the fight at the end is not between her and Kylo Ren. The fight is between her and the other clones. She must fight herself. You know? That'd have been awesome. Yeah, because I gotta be honest, I didn't care about any romance between her and Kylo. I thought that was dumb. That was really stupid. I was like, no, man. If she, it's Finn or nobody. Or sorry, not Finn. Fucking John Boyega. Or that. Wait, there's Finn and one of them's the ex-stormtrooper. The other is the other guy. Fuck. God damn it. Hold on. Gotta look this shit up. Okay, I was right. Finn. But I had just forgotten the name of the other guy. Poe. The other guy's Poe. I'm like, no. It should have been her and Finn or nobody. Yeah, because like I like Poe Dameron, but I'm like, yeah, he didn't have any chemistry with Finn at all, so that would have been dumb. I actually thought it was okay that Finn had a thing with Rose. I wanted to see the continuation of that, and I didn't get it. I'd have been okay with Poe and Finn hooking up too, you know, but not after the Last Jedi, because at that point it's like no, it's got to be Finn and Rose. Like it's got to be them. That's what you set up, and then they went back on that shit, and I'm like, oh god damn it, you know. I don't care what the oh yeah, Moon Knight guy. Oscar Isaac. Yeah, they did Finn dirty in the sequels. Agreed. Yeah, Rose was put too far on the back burner in The Last Skywalker, and I'm like, no, that was a mistake. That was a mistake. You know, that was one of those like, oh, we fucking pulled back so that we could give the fans what they wanted, as opposed to doing what the original Star Wars trilogy did, which is make one for the ages. Bad move. Bad move. I know a lot of people hated The Last Jedi. Fuck them. Fuck that. People getting upset because fucking Princess Leia's got like force powers and looking like Mary Poppins. Dude, it's already space wizards. The hell's wrong with you? That was fucking, I fucking love that moment because I was like, oh my god, she got the force. Of course she got the force. She's a Skywalker, you know, like, I thought that was pretty good. Oh, man. I mean, and I liked, don't get me wrong, I loved having Lando and show up again, but couldn't it have been a better movie? You know, for real, man. Couldn't it have been a better movie? Well, at least we got Mandalorian and Andor. Can't have a black guy in a relationship with an yeah. Oh, a Chinese box office. Whatever reason they fucking had, it was stupid. Dad ruined the first of the new trilogy by pointing out every Easter egg and reference. Yeah, like they weren't fucking obvious. Yeah. Of course, it teach ladies that no, there's another. You know, like no, there's another. There's always another. Don't worry about it. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm worried about this kid, you know. But if you're worried about like, you know, the struggle, don't. Why did they kill the robot lady and put her in the ship? Oh, I don't remember that part. Yeah, the Ahsoka show sounds like it'll be cool. Yeah, one of the I had two major problems with the Book of Boba Fett. One, I didn't think Boba Fett was nasty enough. I'm like, no, Boba Fett, the entire time it's like, nah, I ain't the way I was before. But I'm like, no. The point is that he is. He's still that bounty hunter. He is still that guy. He is still no disintegrations, as you wish. Like, he's still that dude. You know, even if he's trying to be a better guy, he's still that guy. He's still, you know, one of a member of scum and villainy. He just happens to like some people. You know, that was the biggest problem that I had. The other problem that I had was, yeah, this is kind of backdoor pilot the show in many ways. I didn't mind them bringing Mando back, but I did find myself going, wow, there's a lot of key Mando plot in this thing. I get that we're kind of supposed to maybe watch all of them like Marvel movie style, but like, and don't get me wrong, I love those sections, but like, shouldn't this be part of the third season of Mandalorian? And I thought some of the speeder bike, the colored speeder bikes were a little dumb because I'm like, this is Tatooine. Everything needs to feel beat to shit. You know, why don't they look beat to shit like everything else? Like, that's kind of Tatooine's thing, man. Like, if they were running around Coruscant, I wouldn't have minded. But like, Tatooine? Watched the prequels as a kid and thought they were pretty good, but I like The Mandalorian. Well, yeah, like Mandalorian is like top tier modern Star Wars. so is Andor. Right below it, I would put the Obi-Wan show because I actually liked what they did in Obi-Wan. And that to me helped redeem the prequels. Yeah, I agree. Book of Boba Fett should have been a hard R. You know, maybe not with the sex, but definitely with like, you know, like murder. Yeah. Boba Fett, yeah, they rip a guy in half. You know, blow up a couple of buildings, disintegration style. Finally having him like, all right, that's it. That is fucking it. You know, I tried being a decent guy. Fuck it. I'm Boba Fett. Fuck this noise. You know, just have him fucking, like, doing it gangsta style. You know, no good guys. No good guys. Just fucking Breaking Bad it. Do the Breaking Bad of Star Wars. That's what I was hoping they were going to do with Boba Fett. You know, basically he comes in, he claims his people, but he's still a ruthless gangster. You know, it's just his rise to power. You know, I'm done. I'm gonna sit on Jabba's throne and fucking kiss my ass. You know, I also thought that they should have left the situation between him and what's that guy's name? Dude with a hat. Let's see. Oh, there he is. Hold on. What's his name? God damn it. Cad Bane. Yeah, Cad Bane. I thought that he should have lived and that rivalry should have continued. Like, Cad Bane should have continued to just be a thorn in Boba Fett's side. And the other one, I'm like, they should have brought back. They should have put in there. Who should have showed up in Book of Boba Fett in my fucking world? Darth Maul. Have it before he has this big fight with Ahsoka. Like, motherfucker just shows up and is like, ah, Tatooine, I remember this place. You know, because there's so much stuff you could do with Cad Bane. Like, imagine Boba Fett's now, like, the crime lord of the major crime lord of, like, fucking Tatooine. And he needs he needs to hire Cad Bane. He needs him to do something. It's like, there's only one guy I know who can fucking pull that part off. That's the guy who taught me. Oh, you can't trust that motherfucker. He's like, we can't do this without him. He died back in Rebels. Whatever. You know, no, I'm like, the Book of Boba Fett should have just gone pure Breaking Bad. You know, because I think that's what a lot of people wanted. They want Boba Fett to be a bad guy. All right, blonde artist, you take care. Yeah, he died back in Rebels. Obi-Wan killed him. Yeah, whatever. We haven't done that in the shows yet. We could just say it was longer than, you know. Because technically, the Han Solo movie happens way after Rebels. Darth Maul shows up in that. Supposed to be an Easter egg for American Graffiti. Not on Tatooine, is what I'm saying. Yeah. Mandalorian is like a Western or a samurai flick, and I thought Book of Boba Fett should have been like a gangster movie. You know, like, Godfather probably not, but like, some of the others like Gangs of New York. What's that other big one? Miller's Crossing. Yeah, It should be like Gangs of New York or Miller's Crossing, you know? Or Empire, you know? Like that show. Something like that. That'd been badass. You know, give Boba Fett some swagger, you know? Beat a couple of guys to the Rancor, you know? You know, it's not that Boba Fett is a good guy, it's that the dudes he's against are worse guys. And then he kills one good guy. You're like, oh shit! Boba Fett betrayed that dude. It's like, yeah, 'cause he's a crime lord. You'd be like, oh shit. If they go back and do more of the Boba Fett show, I think that's where they should take it. I don't even think that, like, if Robert Rodriguez was going to do kid stuff in Star Wars, he should have done like a Young Jedi Order or something. You know, bunch of kids got the Force. You know, they don't know what they're doing. They're on the run. You know, a little bit of Spy Kids. You know, and then they run into someone that we know, like be it, Luke or maybe Mara Jade or something. You know, like she got name dropped, by the way, or rather, actually, I don't know. Was she directly name dropped, or did they just mention a thing she was involved in? I know they they're teasing Mara Jade. Oh, yeah, Andor was great. Lack of boobs? Well, see, I thought that, like, fucking Book of Boba Fett would have been the perfect place for a little bit of cleavage. You know? Get some dancing girls, you know? Make him, make him maybe not Biggie Smalls. Maybe not shaped like Biggie Smalls, but like give him that kind of like, yeah, Admiral Thrawn got name dropped. Yeah. Yeah, well, like, they mention an expanded universe thing that Mara Jade was involved with heavily. So there's, like, talk of, like, oh, are they going to bring her in? Because she's, like, kind of instrumental in that storyline. All right, Hurricane, you take care. Yeah, I like Gentleman Club scenes. Like, they had that one kind of brothel, but I'm like, nah, I need to be a little sleazier. It needed to at least be like Jabba's palace sleazy, you know? I'm not saying we need a scene where like Boba Fett's getting his cock sucked or anything, but like, it's got to have that energy. I also think that they should have, like, they should have name dropped Han Solo. Like, someone giving, like, Boba Fett shit over Han Solo. It's like, yeah, what you gonna do? You handled the Han Solo situation real well, didn't you? Yeah, just be like, see, you went there. See, you fucking had to go there. See, okay, playtime's over. You know? You know, there's so much they could have done with that Book of Boba Fett that'd have been badass. You know? Because I did kind of want to see, like, you know, the sleazier side of the Star Wars universe in that. You know, more about how the gangsters operate. Like, you know, like, oh no, now Boba Fett has got to fucking deal with the Hutt Empire. You know, oh fuck, what do I do? Because like they had those two Hutts show up, and I'm like, nah, it should be like, nah, we're gonna take this shit. We're taking this shit from you. You know, that's the way it's gonna be. Oh, really fat ass. Admiral Thrawn is going to be played by Lars Mikkelsen. Oh, nice. Oh, man. Yeah, so much cool shit they could have done. God, just now I'm reminded about how much I love the opening of the introduction of Cottonmouth in fucking Luke Cage. I see what you're staring at. You know why you're looking at that picture, Biggie? It's the crown. Everybody wants to wear the crown. So cool. Yeah. I didn't even mind the Dances with Banthas bit, you know, like I didn't mind the Lawrence of Arabia shit, you know, like I just, once they actually got to like him taking over Jabba's old palace, I was like, yeah, now is where we should see the gangster, you know. I wanted to see that journey, you know. Because I'm like, the Book of Boba Fett is a completely different character from the original trilogy. Like, completely different. All right. I think I'm good. I think I'm I think I'm done for the moment. I want to say thanks to everybody for showing up. Satan and I love you all very much. And we feel the love here tonight. You know, the fiery love, the hellfire love. Until next time, Ave Satanas, Disco Inferno. And remember, Satan and I love you all very much. And I did like the big lightsaber fight at the end of Kenobi. I thought it was really good. I thought it was a good one. That's what I've been wanting from the original trilogy that I didn't get. All right, so until next time, everybody, y'all take care.